Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te deva bhavayantu vaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Annad bhavanti bhutani
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha
यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. We are doing this portion in verse number 15. About the various aspects of divinity. Now, God or divinity or truth, whatever name you give, all these things do not matter. Because God is infinite, and infinite is anyway beyond all words. Any word which you use cannot actually define the infinite. Then you may ask me, why have these great masters spoken? Why did they give these truths? All these scriptures are there. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is right in front of us. If anyway the infinite cannot be captured through words, now why give this? That's why I told you there is a difference between definition and indication. Defining something means exactly telling you what it is. Indicating something means you are not actually exactly telling what that is, but you are giving a pointer, you are pointing towards it. So if you follow that, you will get to know whatever that object is. This is a very important principle which you should understand as sadhaks, the difference between definition and indication. When something is defined for you, now you can intellectually understand it, but there is nothing for you to practice. It is not your experience. There is no path. There is no effort from your side to go within. When something is pointed at, now there is a necessity for you to put in a lot of effort to follow that pointer. If you carefully follow that pointer, if you put in all the efforts, if you travel in that path, then you will be able to get to whatever that object which the pointer is pointing at. So definition is merely restricted to intellectualization, whereas indication or pointers, that is actually the path, that gives you the path. So when these great masters, when they talked about the infinite, they very well knew that the infinite cannot be expressed in words. See, a person who has merged with infinite, now obviously he'll know, right, that this cannot be conveyed, this experience cannot be conveyed. Yet, why has he given out all this? Not an attempt, this is not an attempt to define the infinite. It is an attempt to indicate, to give you indicators, to give you pointers, to point at the infinite. That's why I gave you the example of that moon branch analogy. When you understand that, only then this will become a path for you. Everywhere the problem is, people are trying to understand God or the infinite in an intellectual way. Either it is the intellect or it is the mind, that is emotion, devotion. But both are limited. You cannot think and understand the infinite. You cannot capture the infinite through your feelings also. Whatever you capture will be very limited. So these verses, like the verse number 15, they are actually not defining anything, they are indicating, asking you to travel in that path. Remember, whenever there is an indicator, it means they are saying you go that way. See, even in the car, when you put the indicator to the right, what does it mean? It means you have to, he is going to turn to the right. So if you are following that car, now you also have to turn to your right. So any indicator gives you the path, it gives you a direction. So since the equipments are finite, since the equipments are limited, these great masters, they are not wasting their time by trying to capture the infinite and explain it through these equipments. Instead, they give pointers and they say, you just keep traveling in this direction. Here, as far as the spirituality is concerned, the direction is inward, not external search. It's not an external journey, it is the inner journey. Because even when it comes to God, many people who say that they are religious, they are looking for God outside. Their entire path, everything is external. They think from going from this place, wherever they are at that present moment, to another place which is called a place of worship. By going there, now they feel that they are closer to God. Now this is the external view. That is not going to raise your consciousness. The journey which we are talking about is the inward journey. And what is interesting is these great yogis, what they discovered is that as you begin to travel inward, now there is a very big universe inside you. In science we say you are living in the universe. Now what these great masters say is that is true from an objective point of view, but from a subjective point of view, the entire universe is within you. You are a part of the universe is from the external point of view. The universe is a part of you is from the deeper inner perspective. Now that can be understood only experientially through the sadhana, and as the sadhana deepens, the focus increases, you will naturally become more meditative, and when you embark on this inward journey, you will find that there is a very big universe inside, and you will have to cross all the known factors within you. That is what is indicated by Brahman when he says, know that action springs from Brahman. All the known factors, including whatever your understanding is about the infinite, that is also something which is known to you. So you keep on crossing all that, and then you reach that unknown aspect, that which is not known to you today. Brahman originates from the imperishable, Akshara, Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. So these are very deep sadhana principles. It is no doubt being explained to you here, which itself elevates you, because this explanation is not merely given at the intellectual level, even though the intellect is being used as a tool. It is given with the energy. So that is why as you listen to it, it will make you so meditative, it will elevate you. But the actual experience of this you will get only in the higher empowerments. As the student does a lot of sadhana and prepares himself or herself, and when he becomes ready, and the Guru sees that yes, this person is ready. Ready means what? Ready to handle the higher energy. See, as the energy is increased, one will not be able to handle it. So when the Guru sees this person is ready, now he will give that particular empowerment. So when a sadhak advances, as he advances in the path of yoga, which is nothing but union with the infinite, now various empowerments are given. Each empowerment will push the sadhak to the next level of consciousness. So these are all actually empowerments which are being again referred to here. Most people, they think, now I know what's the meaning of this, I know what's the meaning of the second sentence, therefore I have understood verse number 15. No way. It is like you're just simply talking about something. You're just simply talking about a place, and somebody has described it for you, therefore you're just repeating that. Now that is totally different from actually going and living in that place. There is a sweet. No, you're only talking about it. You've never tasted it. But when you actually taste it, whatever you said and what you're tasting, now are they one and the same? There is a world of a difference in terms of depth. So as a sadhak, at no point of time you should feel that, now I have understood everything. Now I have reached a particular level. You may reach very high levels, but there is still more to go, more to discover. This was so beautifully demonstrated by Lord Hanuman. You see, in the Sri Hanuman Dhyana, one of the things is Vinayanjaneya. The 5 different aspects have been revealed in that, the energy. So Vidyanjaneya is there, which is knowledge. He had so much of knowledge, powers, everything. But what is the next aspect? Vinayanjaneya. With all that, he didn't get an ego boost. He was naturally humble, in a state of Vinaya. That is how all great masters will be. See, today when you read about the masters of the past, when the students glorify, now you say, oh, they are like this, they are like that and all that. But actually, were they projecting themselves like that? A classic example would be Lord Krishna himself. He was an avatar. The avataric consciousness is at the high, it's coming from the highest level. Now, he belonged to that level. Yet, he was naturally humble. He just played the role. Whatever role was given to him, he played that. When he was a husband, he played that role. When he was a friend, he played that role. When he was a son, he played that role. When he was a friend to Arjuna, he played that role. Now Arjuna surrendered to him, he is asking for advice. So he is playing the role of a guide, of a guru. A natural humility can be seen. It is not an artificial humility. Please understand this. It's not artificially bowing down, and it's not like that. There is no effort there. It's a state of natural vinaya, natural humility. So as a sadhak, when you understand the difference between definition and indication, you will become naturally humble, because you may understand anything, and in your devotion you may feel so divine, everything may be there, but all these are only indicators. The moment you bring in this principle of indicator, now what does it mean? Whatever your feeling is, or whatever you know now, is only an indicator. God is that which is being indicated at. So you're always looking up, you're always growing. That is the very meaning of Brahman. Eternal growth, eternal expansion, eternally becoming strong, becoming huge. That is the meaning of Brahman. Brah means all these various dimensions put together. So when you are walking in the path of Brahman, now you also are eternally growing. Actually, in the Varnashrama system, the very word Brahmana, that is Brahmin, means one who walks in the path of Brahman. It is not determined by birth. Most people think the four Varnas, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, they are all determined by birth. No. Anyone, wherever he is born, he or she, all these things don't matter. If that person is walking in this path of the infinite, that person is a Brahmin. I am giving you the true meaning, the true essence of the scriptures. So, why were Brahmins so respected in the good old days? Not because they merely had some textbook knowledge and all that, no way. Because they were walking in this path of the infinite, which is very difficult. They were always striving for perfection within themselves. That inward journey was always on. Irrespective of a person's birth, that is birthplace, which family he or she is born to, all those things are irrelevant. If that person is walking in this path of the infinite, which means following the indicators, at any point of time, if that person feels, now I know, now he gets stuck with that piece of information, he may call himself knowledgeable. The world may also give him very many awards and all that, saying he is very knowledgeable. But as far as that individual person is concerned, he has got stuck. He is not moving in the path to perfection. So the constant upward movement, that is what is the meaning of Brah, growing, expanding. So that's why I said the combination, Udbhavam and Samudbhavam, it only again means upward movement. So unfortunately, these things have been totally misunderstood today. And people are thinking that the Varnashrama system is based on birth. The very Sanskritam word Vr means to choose. Varna is coming from the dhatu Vr, which means to choose. So you can choose your Varna. It is by choice, not by birth. In the 4th chapter, he will be spelling it out. He will be saying, Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam, which means I created the 4 Varnas. Based on what? He will be giving in the next line. Karma, that is action, and Guna, qualities, inner qualities. Actually, the entire Varna system is a depiction of your inner nature. Everyone has all these 4 aspects. Nobody can say that I am 100% Brahmin or 100% Kshatriya, 100% Vaishya, 100% Shudra. Everyone has all the 4 within themselves. And you need to develop all the 4, the positive aspects of all the 4, without bringing in that ego. When that context comes, I will explain to you in detail. So, when you know that action springs from Brahman, it means we are not talking of the intellectual knowledge, but you are actually able to connect your activities to that supreme higher power, whatever it is that you conceive. And then when you know that Brahman originates from the imperishable, you connect what you know to Akshara. It becomes more subtle. So this is the inward journey. When you do the sadhana, it automatically happens. So in the last session, we were seeing about Akshara. It becomes easy now, a little easy to understand these principles because of the base which has been built. So, in the first dimension, Brahma means your conception of the infinite. So, Akshara means beyond that. Then, in the second dimension, Brahman means the Vedas, the Shabda Brahman. Akshara means the root of those Shabdas. That is what we saw, no? The alphabets and the syllables, the unit of spoken sound. See, when something is told to you, two things are there. One is the word. The other is a sound which the word creates. Now, Akshara means the root of the word. It also means the root of the sound. See, that's the beauty of this word Akshara. How they have chosen this is amazing. Every time there is a Shabda, there are these two aspects. One is the word aspect, other is the sound aspect. Even as I am saying the word sound, it is both a word, but as I am pronouncing that word, a sound effect is created, no? The audio effect which is created, sound. Whether you understand the meaning or not, those vibrations will hit you. So, this is what our yogis differentiated. One is the word aspect, the other is the sound aspect. Now, the most interesting part is Akshara. When you take the word, it means the alphabets. When you take the sound, Akshara means the syllable, the unit syllable of sound. So, that which is behind Shabda, Shabda Brahman, that is Akshara. Now, how subtle you can go, it's up to you. That is, when I say it's up to you, the advanced sadhana, the master will initiate you, give you that empowerment into this inward journey, subtle journey, and then he will keep guiding you to go more and more and more inward, to go on exploring. And this is an infinite science. Where will it take you? See, for example, in the last session I was telling you, this we will take it as a the sound, okay, as an example. Now, when you say now you go to the root. This is one level. So, Akshara means a, u, here. But if you just take the sound of a, or just the sound of what is the root of that? The very beginning of a. Like this, if you start going inward, where will you hit? You will hit the very source. which is what he is talking about in the next line when he says Sarvagatam Brahma, the all-pervading Brahma, the very source of Kshara and Akshara, which is a further higher level. So, when you take Kshara as, that is the Brahman as Shabda Brahman, then Akshara becomes that which is behind it, the unit of that. So, in this sadhana of sound vibrations, you will first start off with external sound only, and then you will start going within, it will automatically take you deep within. That is the very sadhana of Yoga Sankirtan. Yoga Sankirtan is not mere singing bhajans and all that. No. That is a different type of Sankirtan. I have mentioned it in that Nirvana Shatkam introductory speech. No, you have Bhajan Sankirtan, you have Nama Sankirtan, you have Dhyana Sankirtan. But Yoga Sankirtan is a science of sound vibrations. As you purify yourself, more and more will be revealed to you. How to use these materials to get to a very, very advanced level. All that will be revealed to you in due course of time. One has to be prepared for that. So, that is Brahma and Akshara. Then, if you take Brahma to mean Kshara, that is perishable, then Akshara becomes the imperishable, that which cannot be destroyed. Both are aspects of God only. That is why the great yogis say the world is God. See, this is a very high vision. When you start off in spirituality, you will start off by saying, this is the world, this is God. These things are worldly, these things are spiritual. You will have so many rules and all that. But as you advance in spirituality, these rules will automatically go. That's why a yogi becomes very non-judgmental, because he will start experiencing the world itself as a manifestation of God. So, initially you look at a bangle, you look at a necklace, gold bangle and gold necklace, your focus is on the name, form and all that. So, you think that they are different. But if you ask a goldsmith, which is superior, the bangle or the necklace? Let's say both of them are made with the same, let's say the same quality of gold and the same quantity also. Let's say each one is 20 grams. Simply, I am just saying. Now, to you, when you are asking, is a necklace better or is a bangle better? You are asking that because it's stemming from the perception of difference. But if you ask a goldsmith, he will say both are same only, because it's the same gold only. There is no difference. Now, if you don't understand from where the goldsmith is coming, now you will say, see, the goldsmith doesn't know anything. The necklace seems to be more superior, or the bangle seems to be more superior, it seems to be better. Yet he is saying both are same only. Let us, for argument's sake, say you have two bangles, gold bangles, exactly same number of grams and same quality of gold. One bangle has been cleaned. The other bangle is dusty. Lot of dust is there. Now, to you, the one which is cleaned has more value. But to a goldsmith, he will say, even now, the value of both are same. Here they just gathered some dust. You wipe it off, it is still gold only. So, a person is a great saint in this world. He's got a name that he is a spiritual person. Another person has a lot of so-called impurities, dust. To you, there is a big difference. But if you go and ask a yogi, he'll say both are same only. It's like saying that the bangle, the dusty bangle and the bangle which has been cleaned up, both are same. That's what a goldsmith will say. So, the kshara aspect is what you're seeing externally, that which is perishable, but the akshara aspect is what is behind it, the imperishable. So, the name, the shape, everything can be changed, but gold remains unchanged. Similarly, if you look at your own personality, your body keeps on changing, your emotions keep on changing, your thoughts keep changing. But what is that common factor binding all these changes? That is the changeless principle which is there within you. That consciousness, that I. When you were a boy or a girl, you said, I am a boy, I am a girl. Then when you became a youth, you said, I am a youth. As an adult, you said, I am an adult. When the old age comes, you say, I am an old person. The child, the youth, the adult, the old person, all these things are kshara. They are changing. But that I continues to remain the same. That consciousness is the same. And as I told you last week, when you advance further, you will see all the births in front of you. So many births I have taken as a Jivatma. All these are kshara. It is very interesting. Lord Krishna gives this principle practically to Arjuna in one of the instances. There is an incident where it's nothing to do with the battlefield or Bhagavad Gita earlier, where there is an incident where Lord Krishna takes Arjuna to meet Lord Narayana. Obviously, he would have seen the purity of Arjuna, otherwise he wouldn't have done all that. But through that, there is a very deep message which is being conveyed. Even the form of Lord Krishna is kshara. That is what he says. And both of them go, the incident is that both of them go meet Lord Narayana and take Narayana's blessings and they come back. So the form of Lord Krishna also is kshara at that level. That which is behind that is changeless. Then if you go to Lord Narayana, that form is also kshara from the highest level. Whether it's Narayana or Shiva, it's all one and the same. The kshara aspect is there, the akshara aspect is there, and that which is beyond both is also there. That we'll be seeing in the next slide. So when a guru comes to you, I always keep telling you about the Guru Shakti. Why? Because, see, the tendency of the mind is to always get attached to the Kshara aspect, because that's what you see, that's what is manifest. So naturally you will get attracted. That is good for a start. When you go to a Guru, you are attracted by his personality. You are attracted by his looks, personalities, the style with which he is functioning. All that attracts you. You give more importance to the physical presence. But a true Guru knows that you are actually getting attached to the Kshara aspect. He will allow that, because if you don't do this, then you will get attached to so many other things. So he will consciously allow this, but he will keep on guiding you to move to the Akshara aspect, which is what we call as a Guru Shakti. So the person whom you call as a Guru is Kshara. There is a beginning, there is an end. All the great masters, they were there at one point of time. They are no longer there now. The form will go, but the Guru Shakti, which is the Akshara aspect, will continue to remain. I am only giving you the various applications of this, the perishable and the imperishable. So when you get too involved with the Kshara aspect, now you will lose sight of the divine backing, which is what we call as Brahman. You forget that it is Brahman. It is a manifested form of Brahman. Just imagine, you forget that it is gold and you are giving so much value only to the name and the form and all that. So even when you are interacting with the Guru, now it's like a Maya, it's like an illusion, Initially you will start off with an attachment to the Kshara aspect, which is his personality. But if you get stuck there, then again you will create a politics there. See, the mind's nature is to create trouble wherever it goes. So you will start looking, oh, what is the Guru doing here? Oh, he's talking to that person more than me. Some people get angry. The mind will generate such foolish thoughts. You have to be very careful. And when a Guru sees that there is that weakness, let's say you are very judgmental, a student is very judgmental, and with a judgmental mind the student says, sir, I want to meet you, sir, he may not encourage. Till that, you start judging more and more and say, why he is not meeting me, he is meeting that person, he is not meeting. Let all that come out. He will continue to give healing. The day you drop the judgments, you don't need to ask. He himself will say, come, I want to meet you. Yeah, this doesn't mean when a Guru doesn't meet, that is the only reason. I am taking that as an example and giving you. See, whenever an example is given, don't get stuck with the example. Please understand the principle behind the example. So all the confusions will be created by the mind. But if you are a true follower of the Guru, he will be taking you to the Guru Shakti. He'll make you slowly get attached to the Guru Shakti which is there within you. That is the inward journey. So even with your relationship with your Guru, it's the same path only, from Kshara to Akshara. And then what is beyond the Guru Shakti is that infinite. If you, any aspect of the world you take, there will be that perishable aspect, then there will be that imperishable aspect, and then that which is beyond both. That which is beyond both we'll see. But first, the perishable and the imperishable aspect is what you should understand. Even this session where we are doing verse number 15, right now, the session is going on. There is a beginning, there is an end. This is the Kshara aspect. But the inspiration, the energy which you carry from the session, that will remain with you. That is the Akshara aspect, imperishable. Supposing, let's say, something happens and in the internet all this particular video goes away. Now, does it mean all the wisdom has gone away? No. That will still continue to remain within you in the form of energy, and that will manifest. When we, just now we had this Sambandha Divya Vijnana, science of divine relationships. Time just flew. That's what everyone who attended that was saying. So we just started and now 22nd day has come. Many people were feeling a little sad when I was getting the, their experiences when they were sending it to me. They were saying, sir, I feel very sad that it's come to an end. What has come to an end? The Kshara aspect. But the energy which you derived, the transmission of energy was at a very high level this time, right? Much more higher than the previous empowerments. Nothing to do with the topic. It is to do with the increasing the level of energy. With this energy, if you revisit the other empowerments of the past and if you do it, you will see a very big difference. That is what is interesting. But that is the Kshara aspect. Even the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana material, you start and then by the time it gets over, now Yoga Sankirtan is over, is finished. Kshara, there is a beginning, there is an end. But the energy flow which it creates, whether it's the empowerment, higher empowerments or your personal sadhana, that energy flow which was created, that will continue with you. That will remain. That is the Akshara aspect. So as a sadhak, when you learn to distinguish between the Kshara aspect and the Akshara aspect of every aspect of this world, what will happen is slowly, you will start withdrawing your consciousness from the Kshara and you will start getting attached to the Akshara, imperishable aspect. And if you take it to a further higher level, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're experiencing with your senses, all these things are perishable. And what is imperishable within you is that consciousness. So you will start getting attuned to that consciousness. This doesn't mean you will neglect the Kshara. This doesn't mean you will discard the manifestations. No. You will be in the world, you will do whatever you ought to do, all that will be there. But your consciousness will be completely pegged on to the Akshara, imperishable. Then we'll see one more dimension, because I had also given you the dimension of Shakti with respect to Brahman. So when you take Brahman to mean the Shakti, that energy, then what is Akshara? Akshara is that silence, the unmanifest form of energy, the source of that Shakti. So the moment we say Shakti, it is manifested energy. Akshara is the unmanifest energy. So that is why we say Shakti comes from the unmanifest energy. Whatever is unmanifest, whatever was unmanifest yesterday, now today it is manifested. So this is the principle of Shivam. In the Tamil Siddhas, they called it as Shivam. Shivam should be differentiated from Lord Shiva. That is different. Again, Lord Shiva is a form, that is the Kshara aspect. But what is behind that is Shivam. Shivam, it's like saying Brahman, the neutral word, the total unmanifest energy. So, your first step is connecting all your activities to the Shakti. And then from Shakti, you need to move to the unmanifested state, which is a very advanced state. In the next Yoga Sankirtan series, the Shakti series, the manifested Shakti is going to be shown to you and how to move from that to the unmanifest. We are going to start off with the primordial Shakti, the Adi Shakti. Actually, Adi Shakti, I would say, is very close to the unmanifest stage. It has not yet manifested fully into forms and all that, but the vibrations we'll be feeling. So, Shakti represents vibrations and Akshara represents the silence from where the vibrations come. See, even if you take Om, supposing you chant Om, Om, you're able to experience the silence, right? So before the Om was chanted, there was silence. And then it's like a wave, Om. Where is it dissolving? Into that silence. So that base or Adhara, as we call it, is imperishable, Akshara. So as the chanting happened, there was a beginning and then there was an end, like a wave. But the base is Akshara that continues to remain. The very idea of mantra chanting is not to go continuously keep chanting the mantra. It is to delve deep into that Adhara, silence. In the next Yoga Sankirtan material, we will be covering that. So, from the vibrations to the source of the vibrations, that is an advanced inner journey. It is only in deep, deep meditation that the great yogis experience all this. Every material, Yoga Sankirtan material, has been created like this only, going into that deepest state and then experiencing those vibrations, and after experiencing those vibrations are further decoded into sound, and those sounds are all put together and the music is composed. That is how this composition takes place. So don't consider these Yoga Sankirtan materials as music audio materials. That is bringing down its level, It's not mere music. It is going to the very source. So, know that action springs from Brahma, and Brahma originates from Akshara. Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam. See how powerful the vibrations are, Just imagine you're hearing these truths. Of course, the energy, the healing is also being given, but that itself is taking you so deep. So when you actually do your sadhana, purify yourself, and when you come to that level and when you take the full empowerment of this, it will be at a different frequency altogether. So, know that action springs from Brahma and Brahma originates from the imperishable. Now we'll move further. See, since the Brahma aspect was explained to you in detail, the Akshara aspect was easier in comparison, it was easier to explain. Otherwise, very difficult to explain all this, Now we'll go further. What is he saying? Tasmat sarvagatam Brahma. Tasmat means therefore. He is coming to a conclusion. Tasmat sarvagatam Brahma, that all pervading Brahma. See, the word used is sarvagatam. That has a tremendous significance. We'll see that. So, that all pervading Brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam is ever established in sacrifice, in yajna. Tasmat sarvagatam Brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam. What is the implication there? If you want the experience of Brahma, do yajna. That is the sadhana message of the of this line. See, as he is taking you from action to Kshara aspect and then Akshara aspect and then further beyond all that, way beyond words, way beyond actions. Now you will wonder, how is this possible to experience all this? He is coming back and he is saying, what you need to do is yajna. Why? Because Brahma, sarvagatam Brahma, nityam yajne pratishtham, is ever established in sacrifice. So one who has absorbed the principle of yajna in his or her life can start experiencing Brahman, can start experiencing the infinite. See how beautifully he is taking you really at a very high level, and then he is relating it to your sadhana so that you're grounded. You don't lose your practicality. Otherwise, you'll only keep talking about, oh, Brahma, this, Brahma, Akshara. No, practically what are you doing? You don't even have the strength to face a small challenge. It may be a common cold you get, the body catches a cold. Immediately the mind gets so disturbed. So why is there such a disparity between your knowledge and your practical inner state? It is because you are using the knowledge just for inspiration, but you are not coming back and grounding yourself in the sadhana part. That is doing it for you in this verse. That is why we are so grateful to all these great masters. They from wherever you're stuck at, whatever level you're stuck at, they start from there and then they take you really, really, really high and then they bring you back, they get you grounded in the sadhana principle at your level. If that grounding is not done, then there will be a disconnection between your knowledge and your practice. Everywhere you see, people talk one thing and then they do something else. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he used to say, an eagle is flying so high in the sky, but its eyes are on the prey down. Similarly, he used to say, you may be talking about the Vedas and all, flying high, but your eyes may be down. Your mind may be looking down. So it is not what you know that matters. It is not what you are momentarily inspired with that matters. It is not what you talk that matters. Everybody can talk philosophy. Usually, you talk a lot of philosophy when other people have problems. you think about it. Whenever somebody has a problem, immediately all the advice, philosophy, that, you see, if a death happens in your neighbor's house, you will go and say, this is what life is all about. People who are born have to die. Your philosophy will be slightly better than even the Bhagavad Gita sometimes. So much of philosophy you will give. But supposing you experience a similar thing, in your life, then you will break down. That's what happened to Arjuna. When he confronted a challenge, he broke down. Why is that? Have you ever thought about it? These subtle things, okay, you may not know, but the general philosophy of life is known to you. There are so many things which you know are good, but yet you don't do them. Why? That is because there is a wide gap between what you know and what you practice. And why is there this gap? Because you are not getting grounded in the sadhana principles. So when he says, Sarvagatam Brahma, the all-pervading Brahma is ever established in sacrifice. Now, we will see what it means thoroughly, but before that, as a sadhak, now you should understand what he is trying to do. He is not trying to get Brahman established in yajna. That is always there. That way, Brahman is beyond yajna also. By saying that the great all-pervading Brahma, see, when he says Sarvagatam Brahma, the indication is of Uttama Purusha. I told you, Kshara, Akshara, Uttama Purusha, that which is beyond the known and the unknown. Now, even that is established in yajna. The moment it is said like that, now what is he trying to do? He is trying to bring your mind to yajna. He is asking you to get grounded in the sadhana principle, in your sadhana. And the principle of sadhana is yajna. What is yajna? We have been seeing that only. The giving aspect, the taking aspect, the parasparam, so many things we have seen, no? So one thing is to go on getting inspired, the other aspect is getting grounded in your sadhana and keep doing your sadhana. Both these are required. I'll tell you why. If you do only the sadhana, some people say, So now that I have the Yoga Sankirtan material, why do we require Sunday sessions? Even during Sunday, it will, just meditation, why don't you take, sir? They ask such questions. Why do we, in other words, what they mean by asking why do we require Sunday sessions? Why do I require knowledge? Because if this inspiration is not provided, after a while you will stop doing your sadhana. There are many people who have started their sadhana with a lot of vigor, and after a while all the inspiration energy fizzles away. They stop it. That is why the knowledge part, the understanding part, the inspiration part, satsang with the Guru. Why do we have empowerments every year? 22 days you sit with the master and do the intense sadhana in his presence. That recharges your battery. So, the knowledge recharges your battery. The satsang, the exposure with the master, all these things recharge your battery. But then what for do you recharge the battery? Ultimately to use whether it's a cell phone or whatever it is that you're using. So you will have to become grounded in the sadhana. So if you merely do the sadhana and if you are not recharging yourself, after a while the battery will run out. The other aspect is you are only recharging. You are attending all the empowerment programs, the Sunday sessions also. You are seeing, you bought all the materials and everything very carefully you have kept. Wonderful. Practically you are not doing any sadhana. You are just sleeping. That is also no use. Then a very wide gap will be created. So, by taking you so high up to the ultimate infinite, he is bringing you back and he is saying that infinite is ever established in yajna. So if you want to contact the infinite, simply start doing yajna, in this context sadhana. Can you see that beautiful cycle, taking you so high and then grounding you? So these two factors are so important as a sadhak. On one hand, you should go on raising your inspiration level. You should gain the deepest knowledge. On the other hand, you should be grounded in your sadhana. You should use all these to do your sadhana better. That part you should not leave. So this is what will create a balance in a sadhak. Many people lose that balance because they focus on one aspect and leave the other. Some people focus on action, the sadhana, and then they leave the knowledge part. Some people focus on the knowledge, they leave the action part. Arjuna asked that question, no, should I gain knowledge or should I act? It's both only. You need to create that balance. That's why Krishna is not directly telling him do action or knowledgeism. He's not saying that. He's slowly educating Arjuna to make him understand that balance is the key. Okay, so we'll stop with that here. In the next session, we will see what is the Sarvagatam Brahma and what exactly he is trying to say here, and then we will go further to the next verse. Okay, so before we do the Nididhyasana meditation today, I'll take up one question. So this question has been asked by KB Raman sir. So Namaste Yogishri, pranams. Yesterday during your discourse, you so beautifully brought our attention to the misunderstanding surrounding the 4 classical parts of yoga. I was deeply moved when you said that every single word of the Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all. Many great masters have declared that the Gita holds answers for every situation in life, and through your words that truth felt especially alive and vibrant. Yes, that is so true. It's not only the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a reflection of the truths, the higher truths of life. So we can say every scripture has these solutions. It's a question of decoding. When we misunderstand all this, then there is no connection between that and one's life, So a question arose in me prompted by 2 incidents that occurred last week. Number 1, I had to accompany an elderly couple to a private hospital for an MRI scan, as the lady had slipped in the bathroom. It took nearly 4 hours in that overcrowded and understaffed hospital just to get her admitted. As I sat there watching the steady inflow of patients, I noticed that most of them were elderly, many frail, chronically ill, and almost completely incapacitated. So this is one incident. Second is, a few days later I travelled to a nearby city to take care of my 85-year-old mother. I'm not getting into all the personal details. So basically my mother, who is elderly. Now what you're asking now, these 2 experiences touched me deeply. They made me reflect on how, as age advances, the body gradually loses its strength and independence. Many elders reach a stage where the body continues to exist, but its ability to serve oneself or others becomes very limited. Sometimes one may even feel that one's presence creates difficulty for those around. In such a situation, how should a spiritual seeker approach life? With wisdom, acceptance, and dignity. From the standpoint of yoga, what is the right understanding of the relationship between the body and consciousness? And according to the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, how should one face this final stage of life? Is there within the yogic tradition any concept of consciously preparing oneself for the natural and inevitable departure of the body, not as an act of harm, but as a sacred readiness rooted in detachment, surrender, and remembrance of the divine? Since the Bhagavad Gita is revered as a scripture that offers guidance for every situation in life, I humbly seek to understand what Lord Krishna teaches about facing this stage with clarity, devotion, and inner freedom, with humble pranams. It's a very beautiful question. Now, no doubt you've asked about old age, but the principles which I'll be giving are applicable at any stage of life. See, we just know today we saw Kshara and Akshara. So the body is Kshara, the perishable aspect of the infinite. So it goes through childhood, youth, adult, old age. These are all aspects. After old age, again you are born. You start off being a baby, childhood. That cycle is on. Now today you may not be able to see it, but in advanced sadhana you can actually see this entire cycle. Now, each phase has its limitations. See, we say in old age the body loses its capacity. What is interesting is, even as a child, the body is limited only. A child wants to do so many things. Why child? You go further back. As a baby, we think the baby doesn't know anything. No. The baby wants to do so many things, but the body does not cooperate. It is not yet developed. It's very interesting. And then the baby becomes a child, the body develops a little bit, and then the child becomes a youth. When you are youthful, now the body gets more capacity to fulfill your desires, your ambitions and all that. Whether you use it in the right way to complete your experiences, that is a different thing altogether, but it has the capacity. And then as old age comes, again what you are saying is the body starts losing its capacity. Now what do we do at that time? What are the yogic principles? Later on in one of the chapters, he will actually be covering this, the different stages of life, Now what he says is, a yogi as a yogi, how does a yogi approach this? He approaches the whole thing objectively. When you understand that this is the nature of the body, the kshara aspect. Now even when you are young, when the body is firm, you will invest a certain portion of your energies towards sadhana in order to build that mental detachment, in order to build that inner strength. This is the first step. Now I know what all of you will be asking, so supposing we have missed that, now what do we do? That also I will come to, because you can start your sadhana at any point of time. It is not old age which affects a person, but it's lack of preparedness which affects a person. When you understand that this is the nature of the body, the kshara aspect, and when you keep doing your sadhana and when you peg your consciousness to the akshara aspect, that consciousness which is there within you, then whatever happens externally, you will go through all of them objectively, but you will not allow that to touch your consciousness. This is the advanced yogic state. It is only when you reach that state, you will be able to face the challenges of that particular phase of life. It is not that other phases don't have issues. Today, the maximum stress is there with young people only. One psychiatrist, she says, maximum patients I get is from youngsters. The stress levels are so high. So that even in that phase there are a lot of issues. So whether you are a child or whether you are a youth or whether you are an adult or whether you are an old person, what will help you face that particular challenges of that particular phase of life? It is your inner strength through sadhana. So what the great masters have said is, sadhana should be an integral part of your life, whether you are young or whether you are old, it does not matter. See, today there is no concept of sadhana. I told you this, Sanatana Dharma has got lost, not because the knowledge is lost, not because the rituals are lost, not because of that. By doing that alone you cannot revive the Sanatana Dharma. The sadhana has gone, the energy aspect has gone. So at least those of you who are watching, now when you make sadhana an integral part of your life, you are actually preparing yourself for old age also. That is a incidental benefit which you will get. You are preparing yourself for all kinds of challenges and all the eventualities of life. So this wisdom has three aspects. First is the art of being reborn, as they say, the prati-prasav sadhana, by wiping off the past karmic blocks, you are reborn again. Then comes the art of living your life properly, the science of living. And then the third comes the art of dying. Now when I say the art of dying, now you may wonder what are you saying. So that's why I explained a little bit. See, this is an inevitable fact. If you are born means you will have to leave this body at some point of time. So are there any yogic methods? Yes. But whether you reach up to that level or not, it depends upon you only. a yogi actually, as you advance in your practice, I'll be teaching you all this, because straight away it cannot be taught. As you get more prepared, this art of dying, that is the sadhana of detaching your consciousness from the body and then getting back, rejoining it with the body, is practiced by yogis every day. This sadhana, the energy and the sadhana part was explained by Lord Yama to Nachiketas. If you read that Upanishad, Kato Upanishad, you cannot get the sadhana. For that you require a guru to initiate you into that meditative process, to empower you, give you the empowerment, transfer the energy so that you can practice it with ease. So we have done this prana tattva level 1 empowerment, no? Kaya tattva, prana, those are the initial steps. First in Kaya tattva you are fine tuning the body. Then in prana tattva you take it to the next level. Prana tattva level 1 only we have done. Then level 2 will be coming, the full pranic body. Then further and further we'll go. This will slowly expand, detach and expand your consciousness. So this is on one hand, this is the true preparation. But from a practical point of view, this is a small suggestion for all the elderly people. As far as that phase is concerned, take it with grace. Just as you went through the various aspects of life, now this is another aspect of life, this is another phase of life. It has its beauty, it has its challenges. Here the challenges, the body may not be as cooperative as it was earlier. But one thing, do your sadhana. This is the first point. The second thing is, when you accept old age as you accept all other phases of life, gracefully, with cheer, now you will start thinking in terms of what you can give back. Yes, the body will not have the same capacity as when you were youthful, but as an old person, you can actually give a lot of positive vibrations because you have seen life. As an elderly person, you can be a source of strength to others. See, in a house, in the good old days, the elderly people used to be sources of strength. They don't need to do anything, just their presence is enough. It will give a fulfilling feeling to all the youngsters. Provided you practice these principles, that is your duty as an elderly person, to provide strength. When can you provide strength? Only if you are strong. So it is not, see, at any stage of life, you don't lose that capacity to serve others. It is the intention that matters. So others are taking care of you, oh, I am dependent on others. If the situation is like that, now no need to feel down. Give back love, give back gratitude, give back strength. Then others will not feel it as a burden at all. As an elderly person, first thing you should do is learn to observe, learn to be an observer, a detached observer. Today, unfortunately, since these principles are lost, even at that age, I see many people who are so anxious, who interfere with other person's lives, and they try to change this, change that, give advice where it's not necessary. And then when the other person snaps back, they get very affected. I would say the phase of old age is a beautiful phase to understand the perishable nature of this world, the Kshara aspect, and move to the Akshara aspect. Invest some time in sadhana. As far as health is concerned, see, these beyond a certain point, Now, see, the doctors themselves say that we can only help, but ultimately health is in your hands only. So, when you do the sadhana like the Kaya Tattva, there are many elderly people even who are watching this who have been doing the sadhana regularly, and they have found that they have become the body has become more healthy. So that should also be, it acts like a medicine, the internal medicine. So one is taking the external medicines. The internal medicine is very important, tuning of your personality. So if you can introduce the Yoga Sankirtan, so you download the copies for your mother, and whether she understands it or not, she is 85, I think, put some headphones or see how, if she can listen to that on a daily basis, that is the best thing which you can do as a son or as a daughter. They may not be, now don't go and give them a lecture, kshara, kshara, uttama. See, that is another issue. Just introduce this to them and make them feel comfortable. So that is how you deal with the phase of old age, by accepting the inevitable, by accepting fully that which is beyond our control. The same principle is applicable at any phase of life. But since you asked about that phase, I focused on that a little bit. Okay, so I'll give you more principles also as we go along. Now we'll do the Nididhyasana. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond this physical body, beyond these emotions and thoughts, lies that infinite, supreme reality. I choose to be a powerful sadhak. I choose to move in this path from kshara to akshara. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru, and all the holy masters, wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. We had a very deep and powerful session today. The more you reflect on this, the more you actually listen to this, the inbuilt reflection will be triggered. That will fill you with so much of divine energy. Age is not a barrier. Whether your body is youthful or whether your body is old, all these things do not matter. At the soul level, you are ever youthful. There is no age for the soul. And you are that soul, not this body. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.